Yeah, 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 yeah. Yo, 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 yo. I'm about to get the dough. Ain't been sleeping on big four. Nigga popped off.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on? Welcome back. After being gone for a week, we're back to Minds of Mayhem podcast. I am always your host, King Rome. Oh, guys, here's my guy over here, L.A. Nova. He's over there. What's going on, bro?
Yeah. What's going on,
You
folks?
you enjoyed the week off?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we needed the rest, so we
Yeah,
had to catch
after
up on
doing
stuff.
2 straight streams, then we had a Sunday recap of everything. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Also, she peeped the shirt. Also,
Hell yeah.
316 had to cop had to copy.
As you should.
Yeah.
As you
Also,
should.
happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Today is a special
Yep.
day for the moms. Obviously, my guy got his mom. My mom she's around in presence and spirit. My mom is no longer here on the earth, so you know. And we're gonna do a little something special at the end, so tune in for that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Happy
so
Mother's Day to all the cougars and the milfs. Yeah. All of that.
okay.
Yep. I went there. I went there.
That was random, very random. Yeah, so we had Backlash yesterday, bro. Did you check it out or anything?
I watched it, and not gonna lie,
It wasn't a cup of tea or something.
it was hit or miss.
Here's my thing. I actually enjoyed it because it's
Hmm.
like, I mean, granted, we know like we just had WrestleMania about what 2 weeks ago or 2.5 weeks ago. So
Yep.
for them to have a card with 5 matches on like last minute, I mean, it was still perfect either way. And plus, what made the show even better, the audience was into it. It wasn't like everything was just like silence or dead.
Yeah.
Like every match on that card was like for everybody to look at, and it was cool.
I mean, like I said, it was some parts of the show was like, okay. I mean, of course, we're going to talk about the card itself, but overall show, it delivered. It was just some parts of it was hit or miss.
I got you. We're gonna get into also as you saw at the beginning of the show. Sad to report that the passing of ECW legend Sabu, if not one of the greatest ECW wrestlers slash champions, extreme wrestler period. If you don't know the
Yes,
man, watch his
sir.
matches. Watch his matches with Taz. Those are the most
Mm,
greatest matches that he ever had. Him versus Taz for the
yep.
ECW championship. And I think it was Heat
Hmm.
Wave, I believe, in '98. Man,
Yep.
in mind, he did a match recently with Joey Janela for I guess it was his last match ever. But he went out on top
Hmm.
too, which made it good for him. I think he won the match. It's just that man, he just did it. The Dark Side of the Ring.
Yep.
The episode dropped today.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah, it's like everything is. It's like out of nowhere. Like I didn't expect that. Like, granted, I mean, he's what? I think he was 60 years old. So yeah,
Somewhere around that. Yeah,
I think they said
somewhere around
60
that.
years old. Yeah. So R.I.P. to Sabu,
Hmm.
man. But let's get the show started. Like I said, we got a little. It ain't gonna be that long of a show. We're gonna try to get at least stay at the time of an hour at least. Or at least we go over time. It is what it is. Let's get the show started. With we always do the rundown. As always with the rundown, we always gotta get started, and we're gonna get started like this. Backlash recap. So, as we know, after WrestleMania is always Backlash. This year it was in
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis, Missouri, where we basically had the main event of John Cena versus Randy Orton. We also had the Fatal 4-Way of Jacob Fatu defending his United States title against Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Damian Priest. We
Mm-hmm.
also had both Intercontinental Championship matches where it was Lyra Valkyria defending against Becky Lynch. Then, of course, for the men's side, you had Dominic Mysterio versus Penta.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had another match that everybody's been shitting on, but for me, it wasn't a bad match. It was like cool. The Pat McAfee versus Gunter match. And of course, we had the main event, which was John Cena versus Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, let's get started. The match that kicked off the night was the Fatal 4-Way. It was a good match. It was a good match to start the show off. The show started at 7 o'clock. So
Mm-hmm.
Jacob came out by himself. Drew, he came out there. Everybody came out, blaze of glory. Everybody was doing what they needed to do to get over that match. The audience was into the match. We see that Drew and Damien's feud is not over with, the way it looks.
Nah.
Also, if you've seen the spot where Damien and Drew had that table spot, you notice Drew landed on his head hard. He was in concussion protocol, I heard.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
It's like Drew cannot catch a break, man.
That man.
This man tries to do everything to get a title or get ahead, but it's always something. But it's like it's your own fault because you start all these people, and you go back to people that quote unquote screwed you. What you expect was
Mm-hmm.
going to happen? They was going to leave you alone? Yeah, right.
Yeah, nah.
And then LA Knight, he's still dealing with the whole bloodline situation. But not the bloodline situation, Solo and his. Only this time, remember, Solo is out there by himself because the Tungans are not there. Tunga and Tama, they're not there. So
Mm-hmm.
who does he enlist as for help? The debuting of Jeff Cobb, which was already like noticed and everything. Like for instance, it's been reported that Jeff Cobb has been inside WWE for like a little minute now,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess they're just waiting for the perfect to debut him, which made sense for him to debut on last night and basically destroy LA Knight. It made sense, but also it helps out the situation where Jacob gonna probably become face the way it looks. Cause you saw Jacob's face, he's looking like who bull.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All in all, we see Jacob get the win. He keeps the title for now until Solo tries some bullshit. Cause I honestly think Solo's gonna probably take the belt off of him. That's just my assumption. But how do you feel about the first match of the night?
Um, I think it was a good, solid way to kick off Backlash. I mean, the Fatal 4-Way. Um, we did not know exactly what direction they was going to go in as far as um Jacob and LA Knight, and then you insert Damien and Drew with their whole thing. Um, I hope Drew McIntyre doesn't have a concussion. I really don't because um, he's a major player and a potential United States champion down the line.
Yeah,
Um,
he is. Yes,
that like that's like the only title that's keeping him from being Grand Slam. So
which is
I
crazy.
think
Yeah, it
yeah,
is.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
He won
So
everything else, so he just needs a U.S. title.
yeah, he just needs that U.S. title. So um, yeah, I hope he you know gets the medical attention and all that other stuff. But like I said, the match definitely delivered. Jeff Cobb was not expecting. At first, looking at his face, I thought it was Zilla. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I
I'm like, oh, Zilla finally. Oh no, they ain't Zilla. Nope.
about to say Zilla ain't that like big. He ain't like built like that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. But hey, look, it's another person in the bloodline, so we'll see
What's
how this
funny is
goes.
the thing is though he's not Samoan or Polynesian.
He could pass for one.
He can for sure, but that's the funny part. That's my only funny thing about it. Cause think about it. In the LWO, you know Joaquin Phoenix,
hmm
he's Filipino. He's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So it's like it is what it
yeah.
is. I'm happy for Jeff Cobb to debut because if you haven't watched Jeff Cobb wrestle before, you're in for a treat. It's the same guy that fought people like Keith Lee. He fought people in New Japan and everything.
hmm
I think he had a match against Ricochet, if I'm not mistaken. He had a few matches with a lot of people. He's a great wrestler.
Right.
He's just so small and stout, but it's like he's powerful at the same time. I think he's what, like
Yeah.
5'10", 5'11", 5'9", and he's like that strong.
Yeah, we're like the same height, basically.
Cause if you notice debuted compared to like Solo and compared to like Jacob and them, he's short.
hmm
He's very like he's not like eye level. Nothing wrong with that, but it's like you can tell the boys is he gotta put you on a task. Like built wise.
Yeah, Taz, but better.
I wouldn't say all that, but okay.
I know. I
I'm about to
tried.
say,
I
I
tried.
mean, you know, good and well Taz was an issue back in the day. Come on now.
Taz was a problem.
I'm about to say, anytime that man put you in the Taz mission or whooped your ass in the suplexes, you're done for.
That man is Taz was a problem.
Yes. Matches with him, Sabu, him and Bam Bam, him versus Seth. Everybody on that damn roster for real. But let's move on. So the next match of the night, it was Becky Lynch versus Lyra Curia for the Intercontinental Championship. All the great women's match. Very great women's match. And surprising outcome because I thought Becky was going to win.
I thought that too.
But next thing you know, like thing is, I like how they let like Curia become like the next big thing.
hmm
Because if you notice the fans are getting into her like whole interest and everything, when they do the whole woo and everything. Because a lot of
hmm
fans that think like she don't have no character or anything, but if you notice, like the last 2 weeks of her promos, she's gotten better
hmm
at coming at people and stuff. Now, granted, the night she got turned on by Becky, her case was not being helped out a little because she wasn't selling for nothing.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
like the last 2 weeks before Backlash helped her out because she was coming at Becky hard.
hmm
But only thing is though, Becky has this persona now where she's owed everything now. Like, she's basically feeding into the IWC by saying, "Look, I am Becky Hogan." Oh well,
Ah, ah.
which is hilarious because it's like y'all, which is hilarious
uh,
because you know the IWC, you know how they are.
oh
If
yeah.
if that one person gets that push, they automatically did it like Hulk Hogan, basically.
Right.
That's the ongoing thing when anybody gets a push. I don't care who it is.
hmm
But all in all, like I said, this match between Lyra and Becky was great. Back and forth, back and forth. It ended on a pin. No finish moves. They kicked out each other's finishers like crazy. So now it's like, where do we go from here? Now, 'cause after the match, Becky basically laid the armbar on her and wouldn't let go. So,
Yeah.
because to be honest with you, I thought we were going to see Bayley back last night, but we didn't see her back yet. So, like I said, the match basically helped Lyra become a big name now in the women's division because she had
hmm
the belt and everything. She was doing good, but yeah, think about it. Nobody's really talking to her about that much for real. They wasn't really talking about her as much as they should, but they didn't. How do you feel about the match, bro?
I liked it. I ain't gonna lie. It was one of those unexpected bangers. Like you think that Becky was gonna eventually be the IC champ,
Yeah,
and it would. And honestly, to be honest with you, it would have been like too soon for her to even get that strap. Because don't get me wrong, from a business aspect, you want somebody to build the title more, and Lyra's doing a good job of it. It's just not as effective as people want it to be. I'll put it to you like that.
Right.
But but for her to get that push from from um from Becky really helped her to be in that spot of being the main name for that championship. I mean, even Michael Cole said it last night. She's the first and only female women's intercontinental champion. So it's a lot of pressure on her. So you're gonna need to put her in that spot. People that could help elevate her. And
Yeah.
even if she lose the strap to a Becky Lynch or to a Bailey or to an even bigger name, that still helps her in the long run with a potential rematch or character development. Character development. So it's going to help her either or. And I'm looking forward to her title reign after last night. The question is, how long is she going to have it? That's the only question.
Yeah, that's very true. Because, like I said, for them to have that match, and honestly, it was match of the night to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, think about it, back and forth, the holds, the close calls, and for it to end like the way it ended, and then it made Lyra even more a bigger star. It helped
Mm-hmm.
out a lot. So all in all, like you said, we gotta see where it goes from here now because we didn't see Bailey last night. Maybe we'll probably see her tomorrow night. Who knows? Or they just hold
Who
her
knows?
off for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, great match between Lyra and Becky. Kudos to both of those women. Like I said, match of the night to me. Also, we'll get into a topic that involves women at the end of the show. We'll get into a topic of that soon.
Mm-hmm.
Next match on the docket was the other IC title match for the men, which was Dirty Dom versus
Mm-hmm.
Penta. It's an ordinary lucha match, back and forth. We know Penta's always going to make the match look great. Dom has gotten
Mm-hmm.
better and better in the ring as we go by the years.
Oh yeah.
And for him to have that match, that suicide dive into a DDT was like, it's like, no, this it's like, the thing is though, we know the kid can go in the ring. It's just that you gotta give
Mm-hmm.
him. It's just that, like, you had to build him up, let him, like, develop a little bit. And him
Mm-hmm.
had the IC title, it was make perfect sense. Cause like I say, he's like his uncle Eddie, just
Yeah, pretty
like
much.
him.
Yeah.
Granted, he's like his dad as well, with like the quickness a little bit and everything, the agility somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he when you look at him, he reminds you of Eddie from 2000. The mullet, the
Yep.
whole, like, digging the girls and
Yep.
everything, being cocky. That
Yep.
is Eddie Guerrero 2000 all day.
Yep.
Of course, we knew Judgment Day was going to come out. We knew it was going to be JD, Carlito, and Finn coming out there. If you notice, Finn has been acting very, like, shady a little bit. Cause remember when they were supposed to tackle Penta right there. Finn was like, you get this, you get this. He took too long to grab the chair, he got caught.
Mm-hmm.
Then now we see Grande Americano involved is now, which we know is setting up for. Cause remember, like we said last time, the last stream we had, WWE acquired AAA. I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee it's gonna be something involved with Grand Americano involved in that show, because they're gonna have everybody's a lucha in that show. Yeah, Grand Americano in that joint. So it's like, where you go from there? Of course, Grande gets involved, hits him with the loaded mask, which is
Mm-hmm.
so dumb to say. That little metal piece he put right in the middle of his head, hit him in the head. 1, 2, 3. Dominic is still your IC champ. So Dominic moves on now to probably face AJ most likely.
Probably, yeah.
But down the line, I think it's gonna be him and Finn probably gonna be down the line soon.
At some point, I feel it, and I would love to see that happen.
Yeah,
Um, the thing is, if and when it happens,
right.
I feel like I feel like Finn is 9 times out of 10 going to win it, but at the same time, I would love to see a babyface Dom Mysterio as IC champion.
Oh, yeah, that thing is though, yeah, it'd be cool to see him as babyface. Cause the
Hmm
reaction he got at WrestleMania, you thought like, hey, let's keep. Well, they probably wouldn't have, but it would have been dope for him like to go along with it. Like the fan base is cheering them, saying the whole like dirty dumb, all that type of stuff. Yeah,
hmm
but we'll see how it turns out for Dom and everything. Cause like I said, he's moving. He moves on from Penta. Penta is gonna be fine. We know this. The way they're boosting up him and his brother on the main roster is crazy.
hmm
Cause if you notice, they songs has been updated.
Yeah.
So it's like Triple H is pushing them to the moon. All right, so next
Yep.
on the card was the match that everybody kind of didn't want to have, but it happened. Pat McAfee versus Gunter. Now, now, before I get into it, I'm gonna need fans to understand like wrestling can be fun.
hmm
Wrestling can be fun. It doesn't have to be always serious. Now, I understand the
hmm
argument of having Gunter involved with a match with a guy like Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee is good. I'm not saying he's the greatest wrestler of ever and everything, all that type of stuff, but he can
hmm
he can move around the ring pretty well. Granted, he did, when he tried to over the rope, he did trip up a little bit, but it happens. Nobody's perfect. But the match did what it's supposed to do. It got the crowd involved. You even got Michael Cole with a pop. He came up there too. So it's like
hmm
you did the job was supposed to be done. I understand people want Gunter to be involved with world championships and everything, all that type of stuff. Well, he will be involved with this stuff. He's not gonna get buried. I don't understand like the people thinking losing steam. Like, where's losing steam at? Losing steam is
hmm
basically not like being booked. Basically, losing steam is basically like nobody caring about you. With all honesty, as last night, the way the reaction he was getting, they still care about Gunter. They still booing him.
Yeah.
He's getting a reaction. As long as you get a reaction and everything, okay. I can understand he wasn't getting a reaction. Okay, you got me. But he still gets a reaction. And kudos to Pat because Pat took a ass whooping.
Oh boy, did he ever.
My man chest was red like ground meat. Like, look, it was terrible. And the thing is, though, like I said, is shout out to him for doing it. Also, shout out to Gunter for showing him the respect a little bit too. Because at the end, you notice, gave him a little bow and everything, and said, "I respect you" and everything. Because it's like, yeah, think
hmm
about it. For a guy that does commentary, the last match he had was in 2022, I believe. He fought Baron Corbin. That was his last match he ever had. I mean, do we
And,
count? Do we
and
count?
Mania, right?
I mean, do we count the Miz one he had at WrestleMania 39?
No.
That was like an impromptu match, but it's like still.
Yeah.
But like the last like full blown out match he had was Baron Corbin at SummerSlam.
It was. Yeah. You're right.
It was at SummerSlam in 2022, I believe. Yep. But yeah,
hmm
man, people just gotta understand. You gotta have some goofiness or funness in wrestling. You just can't always be serious. If you want
hmm
serious wrestling, watch New Japan. If you want
Oh.
serious, if you want
No,
like,
that,
granted, everybody, like I say, every wrestling company has a little goofiness in them. Has a little bit. I'm not gonna say all the time, but WWE
Mhm.
is an entertainment based company. Mind you, it's the same company that has a guy that's a childhood hero that he's older than.
Mhm.
We'll get into that in a little bit too. But yeah, like, all in all, Gunther wins the match. Obviously, it showed Pat ain't no bitch, basically. So how did you feel about it? Because like I said, the criticism it gets is funny to me. It's like, wait a minute, y'all like to have fun? Like what's the deal here? Like, what we gonna get you? Are we get you wrestling to everybody like to have fun or something? Like, what's going on here?
I mean, to be honest with you, it, this match was one of those things of like, okay, I get it. I understand it.
Okay.
Like you're having the guy that lost the biggest match in his well not let me not say the biggest match, but the man lost his major championship at a WrestleMania against a guy that he didn't want to lose to.
2 years in
And
a row.
then 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you hear commentators saying Gunter tapped out. Gunter tapped out over and over again. And you snap. I thought it was good. I thought the build was right there. I mean, yeah, nobody was expecting
A match
Pat
between Pat and
McAfee.
yeah. Nobody
Exactly.
expected
Nobody
that.
was expecting a match out of it, but um, I thought it was a good direction for Gunter to go to really show his dominance and show that Gunter is like the legit real deal when it comes to professional wrestling.
And
And
thing is, yeah, I
don't
was about to say, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, don't get me wrong, Gunter's going to get that championship back without a
Sooner
shadow
or
of a
later.
doubt.
Sooner or later.
He's going to get that back. Um, I just think that um, you get him a little bit more established, not too established, but a little bit more established as far as like showing that anger and that viciousness in order
Right.
to get back to being world champion. But the match last night, I enjoyed it,
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
entertaining, told the story perfect. Couldn't ask for a better ending though.
That's the thing. It was there for you just to be entertaining. It's not like you're not going to get like a 5-star classic. Like, come on now.
Yeah,
Granted,
exactly,
granted. I
exactly.
mean, granted, we don't. Of course, we want Gunter to be in the best spot he can be in. But at the same
Hmm.
time, we know Gunter's a dominant wrestler. He's been like this since he was Walter.
Yeah.
So it's like we know what he can do. It's like he's basically showing range of like who he can work in the ring with. The fact that
Hmm.
he working in the ring with a guy who don't wrestle on a daily and made the match look good. He didn't. It wasn't a terrible
Hell,
match.
damn good. He made him look damn
The
good.
thing is, it wasn't a terrible match. It wasn't like it wasn't like Ray. Like I said, Pat. Just only thing he happened with him was he tripped over the rope. That was the only issue. Well, actually, it wasn't an issue. It
That
was
was
an
it.
accident for real.
Yeah.
But all in all, like I said, Pat did a good showing. I want to see what they're going to do for Monday night. Cause I'm sure they're going to give him like a hand clap, stand ovation as usual. But like I
Hmm.
think Pat gonna probably be done with wrestling probably now. He's probably gonna like take a step back. Or he could be like, or in his mind, he'll probably be like, look, I got somebody for you, Gunther. I'm gonna get somebody to fight you. Could do that.
I mean, like I said, as far as the match last night, I'd rather have somebody to trust carry a match rather for a guy like Pat McAfee, like Gunther. Give me a Gunther to carry that match. And that,
Yeah.
and if people that are involved in wrestling like myself, like if you seen how Gunter was communicating to Pat and like working him around
Oh yeah.
every spot in the ring, it was beautiful. So as far as people having criticism about it, yeah, you can have your criticism, but if you really pay attention, that man was guiding him throughout the whole entire match and what to do,
Oh
how
yeah.
to
Definitely.
react, what
Definitely.
all of that. Like Gunter's the real deal for that. So
Gunther's a pros pro. They just said he's a pros pro.
absolutely, absolutely.
All right. So we did all the other undercards. Now let's get to the main event. It was a 20. I think they say it was a 24th time in history that John Cena and Randy Orton faced each other for the last time.
Hmm.
All in all, that crowd was hot for it. Of course, we're in Randy Orton's hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. The back and forth, Cena being Cena, of course. Cena being, if you notice, Cena's being like this playful, like comic book gimmicky heel,
Hmm.
but it's working for him and everything. All in all, the match back and forth and everything. Of course, we had a few ref bumps and everything. The table
Oh man.
bump, the first table spot, you notice Randy was like, "Look, we want to do this over again." So of course, Randy being the pro that he is, get another table out. Look, we're going through this one. Go through this one. Boom. Of course, the referee gets knocked down. We see Cena going to his old tricks, everything, trying to do, hit him with the title again. Gets RKO'd. Another referee comes out there. 2 count. Next thing you know, Cena hits that referee in the face of the title. Next thing you know, here comes all the producers and the agents from the back and everything. Dick Aldis, he never learns. When you in the ring with Randy Orton, do not raise your arms up and have your head just sticking out to get RKO'd. He caught RKO. Another producer caught RKO. Shane Helms, Hurricane caught RKO. Jamie Noble caught RKO. I believe what's his name? Jesus Christ. He's with Muhammad Hassan.
Davari.
Davari, he caught RKO.
Yep.
It was just RKO City all day. And next thing you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, one job. Yeah, one
one
job.
job. And next thing you know, we about to get a punt. We about to get a whole punt, like an NFL punt. But here comes R-Truth. Which is like, if you think about it, if you know the entire build up to this match, R-Truth and Randy has had like an interaction with each other a little bit.
Yep.
So it made sense for R-Truth to be involved with this match a little bit. He gets RKO'd. And next thing you know, Cena hits him with a low blow. Next thing you know, Cena hits with the title. Here comes Chad Paddington back in the ring. 1, 2, 3. Cena is still WWE champion. And of course, Cena does what he does at the end. Had the mic saying, "I need better competition" and everything. But if you notice Cena at the end of the show, during the whole post show, while he was walking back to the ring, you know his look on his face like he was just regretting something a little bit. Like he was regretting what he's doing and everything. You see his lip trembling a little bit and everything. You gotta think about it. This is his last hurrah.
Yeah.
So it's I think maybe he's regretting what he's doing now. Because during the press conference, he was about to take questions. He was being calm, civil, talking to the people and everything. Here comes R-Truth as on cue, saying, "I'm so proud of you, even though they say you can't wrestle, even though you can't wrestle or anything like that." I'm like, Truth, why would you? He called him by his real name, Ron. That was over the line. Say something like that crazy again, it'll be consequences. Of course, open his mouth again, he got AA through the table. Like they always say, never meet your heroes.
Never. Never.
And you know what? I think that sets up for a match between him and R-Truth at Saturday Main Event.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You have Truth involved, do something at least, because like I said, Truth has always been he always did the entertainment stuff. He was entertaining all the time. You would love to see Truth be a serious person for once at least in the company. At least.
At least.
We'll see how it turns out, because we got tomorrow night and then we got Friday night as well. Hopefully we get some more depth into where it's going with the story between now R-Truth and Cena now with the whole AA now. All I know, how'd you feel about this match? It being the last time we'll ever see a John Cena versus Randy Orton match.
I loved it. I don't know what it is about nostalgic matches like Cena and Orton that really takes you back to
being a kid,
2007 and being a kid. You would never think in your wildest dreams that you would see Randy be the good guy and Cena be the bad guy.
Multiverse.
And to get what we got at Backlash, even though we hated the result, but to see that actually happen and for this to be
I wouldn't say hate the result. I didn't mind it, but at the same time, I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
Like for us to get the result that we got and how that happened, it
All right.
was like, man, we wanted to see Randy get that number 15. Like one good time, just one good time.
He will.
Like
He will.
he'll get it. I don't doubt that he will get it. But yeah, like it was a beautiful closing chapter in John Cena's career slash story with Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Would it be the exact last time that they will face? Who knows? But on that pay per view, that's it.
Think about these
That's
two.
it.
Yeah, think about these two were in the same class at OVW with the guys like Batista, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin. They were the
Hmm.
core. They basically the core five that were leading to the next generation of wrestling. Now, granted,
Yep.
Shelton never got that chance to be a world champion, which is still like bullshit to me to this day. Cause think
Hmm.
about it: Randy Orton champion, Cena champion, Batista
Hmm.
champion, Brock Lesnar champion. Early in his career, you
Early.
had a chance to give Shelton a championship, a world title shot at least. Granted, he was a
Hmm.
great Intercontinental, United States, and Tag Team champion, but you never gave him a chance to be world champion at least. Which is still
I
mind
blame
boggling. I'm
Vince.
like, he had all the tools. He was like everything. He talk on the mic. He getting great in the ring. Like he's like the matches between him and like Jericho, him and Christian, him and
Triple
Shawn
H.
Michaels, Triple H, matches with Kurt Angle as well. Like the man can go in the ring.
Hmm.
It's just the fact that they never gave that world title shot, which was weird.
Yeah, he was always, and plus he was always the spot guy in the Money in the Bank matches. So.
Yeah, he always made he gave you that moment to remember by all the time. He gave you that moment all the
Hmm.
time to remember by. Whether it's
Yep.
running on the ladder, which they made in a video game for everybody to do. So it's like
Yep.
he's Sean Mitchell's always been a living legend. You gotta give him his flowers while he's here to this day. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
but like you said, this match between Randy and Cena, it was a great closing book ending because one, we'll never see it again.
Hmm.
And it's like the only thing I wish we could have had if Edge was in WWE still. Because we like I said, Cena's top three rivalries of all time was him versus Randy, CM Punk, and Edge. Those three rivalries right there were his best rivalries of all the time. The
Mm.
Rock is in there too, but the Rock wasn't a constant.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like those three are the top three rivalries for me of Cena. But yeah, great match. Like I said, the whole card overall was great for Backlash.
Hmm.
Like, the entire card was up and down, great for everything. All right, so man. Also, let's talk about. I want to take a quick talk about SmackDown a little bit. We
Okay.
see Alexa Bliss is back. She returned. She returned this past Friday. Teamed up with Selena Vega to take on the team of Pepper Nivens and Chelsea Green.
Hmm.
Now we see something situation where Charlotte she came over there to do a promo and everything, got in her hissy fit mode and left. Jade comes out there with a Cowboy Carter look and told her, "Look, get to the back of the line." And then we see Charlotte going to the back saying, "Look, I'm leaving," throwing a hissy fit. Out comes Alexa Bliss saying, "Let's chat." We don't
Mm-mm.
know where's that going now. Where could it be going? Though is the question.
My only guess is I feel like knowing Alexa Bliss,
Mm-hmm.
possible heel turn.
Yeah. I
Possible.
mean,
Possible.
we'll see how it turns.
Um.
Yeah. We'll know. We won't know until next week, possibly, if they keep the story going.
Hmm.
Because Charlotte not winning the title at WrestleMania, I mean, what you gonna do with her now? I mean, you can like for instance, like you just said, now they have something with her with Alexa where they're talking. It could be like a team up thing or something, or like a stable situation.
Mm-hmm.
All in all, we'll figure out when we go down to there. But speaking of the women, it was reported about a situation where our great buddy Dave Meltzer had said something about, because we recently had some cuts in WWE with some of the women wrestlers and men wrestlers. Like they cut
Mm-hmm.
Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, Braun Strowman, etc., etc. And so Belcher, I think he said something about ageism towards women and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I won't get into that situation. Ageism towards female wrestlers. My thing is the situation with the word ageism. It's dumb for one thing because one, if you look at the entire roster of the men's side,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to name me a few wrestlers that are under 30 right now that's wrestling on the card.
Under 30.
Under 30 right now.
Um. Well, obviously Dom,
Braun Breaker, of course.
Braun Breaker, and
I believe Nathan Frazier is under 30, if I'm not mistaken.
sounds about right.
That's really it for the men's side. That's all I can think of. I'm not gonna hold you.
I wanna say Carmelo Hayes as well.
Yeah, I think he's under 30. I think he's 28.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like on the
Yeah.
main roster, not on the NXT roster. I'm just talking about main roster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my thing is, we dog the women. They're talking about they're slowing down. They're not as fast as they used to be. But we have men in the men's side who are like in their 40s at the top of the game right now. We have the late 30s still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's women that's like in their mid 30s or even 40 that's wrestling. Like for instance, Nia Jackson's in her 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Asuka's in her 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Io Sky just turned 35 years old, which is I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
she was 35.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Becky's I think in her late 30s, not mistaken. Charlotte is as
Mm-hmm.
well. Bailey's in her
Mm-hmm.
like middle 30s. It's like they're all in their 30s,
Mm-hmm.
but they still can go in the ring. The
Yep.
ageism towards women is trash either way. That's my only thing
Mm-hmm.
when it comes down to certain things. Like for instance, recently, our Jonathan Coachman, former, commentator and everything,
Mm-hmm.
he had the gall and the audacity to say Bailey should have been a part of those cuts. I'm like, you corny ass, cornball ass nigga. I'm like, bro, you had a nerve to say somebody like Bailey needs to get cut because she doesn't she doesn't like excite you anymore. Keyword, you. Bailey still has a good big fan base. They still cheer for her when she come out there. It just that I don't. It's mind boggling to me that some of these guys that claim to be like, oh, I know more wrestling than anybody in here. I'm like, no, you don't, bro. Like,
My
granted,
my my
sorry,
my thing is
sorry.
this.
Go ahead, you go ahead.
My thing is this. Like, first of all, Jonathan Coachman is still bitter about being released or let go or whatever the case, whatever the situation was from WWE.
Yeah, I agree.
And my thing is this: like, if you really pay attention to the product, if you really pay attention to WWE, the women are killing it, no matter what age they are. They are like the honestly, I'm gonna put it to you like this: the women are the
Excuse me.
main. They have been the main focus for quite some time since I don't know. Let's just say 2021, if that. When they main event, when two African American
You can go
females
earlier than
main
that, bro.
evented. I mean, yeah, we could say the triple threat from Mania 35, but
Not
because of
that
Ronda
one.
Rousey,
Not even that one. You can go WrestleMania 32 with Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky.
All right, boom. Let's use that one instead. All right, cool. Let's use that one instead. Like the women were on the front cover of the poster for WrestleMania.
Yep.
They were the vocal point of the women's evolution on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
And they have been setting the bar ever since then. And you cannot be an analyst, a journalist, or whatever the case may be, is and sit here and say that Bailey should have been cut. First of all, Bailey is the reason why women's wrestling has been stabilized for what, almost 10 years now?
Basically, damn near 10 years straightforward. Yeah.
Like, to this very day, people are still talking about her and Sasha from NXT.
Yeah, 2015.
So put some respect on Bailey's name. Like,
Yeah, first off, yeah.
like, come on. Like
Like I said,
the
bro,
rivalry of the you go ahead.
some of these guys that critique wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
some of them need to shut the fuck up. Let's just be honest here. Some of them need to shut the fuck up.
Point blank period. Point blank period.
Because Dave Meltzer, who was a former WWE employee,
Mm-hmm.
is one of the most bitter human beings. Like, granted, I mean, I get sometimes he'll call something, it'll be like, accurate. But to a certain degree, it's like, bro, some things you say don't be full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, he has like I said, the IWC is always, you have some of those fans that believe every word he says, and eats it up. But it's at a
Mm-hmm.
certain point, like, when they prove you wrong, that's not true, okay. But Dave Meltzer is one of those guys that's bitter. He's like you said with Coachman, bitter as well.
Mm-hmm.
Coachman always been that cornball anyway, so it's like nothing new to me with him. Granted, he was great for the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era as a commentator / general manager. He was great, but he always
Mm-hmm.
played that role where it was like just say the most dumbest shit and be like don't make sense at all. Mind, he was on Sports Center. He don't got that job anymore. He just does
I wonder why.
podcasts. He just does podcasts now with some wrestling people that talk wrestling a little bit. Now, granted, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
he's in their history books as a person. We know who he is because he's a part of WWE. We know who he is.
Right.
But sometimes it's good to it's good to keep your mouth shut because some things need to be said because it don't make sense sometimes. All in all, the ageism towards women needs to stop because you gotta have the same energy for men as well because it's some men in wrestling that's like over the ages that can't do what they used to do anymore and need to hang it up. So if you're going to dog women on how their ages are in wrestling, you gotta do the same thing for the men.
Mm-hmm.
And quite honestly, in today's climate of wrestling, the women are killing it more than the men.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every women's match that's like either in AEW or TNA or Stardom or New Japan or WWE or NXT for that fact too. Every women's match of those companies have great matches.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, Indy Hartwell, she just won the House of Glory Women's Championship this past weekend. She's doing good for
Mm-hmm.
herself.
Yep.
We just had a match between we having a match soon between Jordan Grace and Stephanie Valkyrie, which will kill the show. I'm sure it'll main event that show.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Then we got now tomorrow night we got Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus Julia and Roxanne. That match alone will main event a show too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what are we doing here, man? It's like to a certain degree, it's like women deserve the respect they deserve the same as y'all give the men that wrestles. Granted, the men
Mm-hmm.
wrestle great too, but the women are killing it more than the men. That's just my opinion. I know it'd be like
Yeah.
some people like, oh man, you just saying that because you don't want to be called canceled. I'm like, it ain't about being canceled. It's about being truthful because it's like one, if you look at every women match for the past few years and everything, they've been great storytelling, great
Mm-hmm.
everything. Now, granted, it's some women matches that be like hit or miss. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, every match is great because it's not.
Right.
But it's certain wrestlers that are women that deserve the credit they deserve. Like for instance, AEW needs to make Tony Storm the face of the company. Tony Storm arguably is the best thing on AEW right now. And mind you, they world champion John Moxley. And I love John Moxley. But let's be honest here. The character of him playing
Mm-hmm.
as a Nazi guy is dumb. It's like they're waiting for somebody, I guess, to return to take the belt off. I don't know what they're trying to do because I know there was rumors talking about having Darby take the belt off him, but Darby's still playing on Mount Everest right now. So it's like he'll be back probably until probably the end of this year, maybe or maybe like in September possibly. Yeah, man. Like I said, the age isn't towards women got to stop. It has to stop at this point. That's my 2 cents on it. But let's leave it at that. All right. So this is a segment where I say I was gonna do a tribute to a little bit. So if you don't mind, bro, I gotta do a little tribute right now. All right, so here we go. Make myself big a little bit. Obviously, we know today is Mother's Day and everything. So of course, my man, he has his mom too. He loves his mom as well. But of course, like I said, his mom is here. My mom is no longer here on this earth. She passed away in August 24th of 2018. Great woman and everything. Awesome person. So let's do the tribute to her right now. That's my mother holding the world championship belt that I brought from dirtyshot.com. Yeah, man. She was a great woman, great person. He asked Nova. She treated Nova like a son, for real. Treated him like she's one of his own. It's just sad that she's not no longer here anymore. It's been some days where I missed her a lot. It's times where it's like, I always wish I can just sit on the bed with her and talk to her, have a snack with her sometimes. That was our thing. We meet her, we just had like chips and just like talk about stuff. She also was a wrestling fan as well too. She loved to hear some Lita. She loved to hear some Rock. She always called Rock her husband, which is always funny. But yeah, man, it's like one of those things where it's like I always lay my head down and I always say a prayer that keep my mom covered as you look over her while she's up there with you. Because she's up there with her parents, because my grandfather and my grandmother passed away as well. But losing her was like, man, I'll never forget the day. I was at work, got a phone call. They were saying that she basically just passed out. My dad called me, letting me know that, come down there and check on her. And they said it was possible probably wouldn't wake up. So the day I went down there, luckily she had her eyes open. We saw me, my dad, and my sister, and we all was around her. I would say the next following 2 days, it was rough because they were trying to do everything they booked to save her, but if they would have did anything else, she would have been a vegetable. So overall, man, just cherish your mothers. That's all I can say. Because at the end of the day, you only got one mom. Granted, we can all say we have moms that from everybody that raises a little bit from the streets or anything, but it's always that one mom that you can depend on all times. I don't care what it is. In my eyes, my mom's my hero. She was always my hero. She always treated me with everything, gave me wisdom, gave me everything there is to know. I ain't trying to come over here and cry and everything. I already done enough crying as it is. So all I'm gonna say is happy Mother's Day to my mother. I miss her dearly. Wish she was here because if she was here, she'll be commenting on the show saying, "Oh, look at the two honeys." I miss you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. All right, you can come back on the camera, bro.
There we go.
All right, man. So that was my little tribute to my mom. Like I said, if you like Nova can attend to test it. She was always kind to you, wasn't she?
Yeah, man. She was definitely she was somebody that I would call mom. She definitely like anytime she seen myself. our friend Tease, Craig,
Rel,
everybody.
Christian, all of
She
them,
tre-
man.
she treated us like we were her kids, and that's something
Fed
that,
you too, fish and everything, all that stuff.
oh my gosh, man, like we would go over his mom's house, and we would watch wrestling, we would watch sports, like we would
Yep.
just go over there just to kick it,
And she would always come talk to
and
y'all.
please, oh, like she would have the biggest smile on her face just to see us all together. So
Yep.
yeah, she's definitely going to be missed, man. Definitely going to be
Yeah,
missed.
it's been what almost. It was 2018, so it's been 7 years. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
but we gonna go and get head on, get out of here because, like I said, it was like today's Mother's Day was good for me. Like I said, normally I'll always be down the dumps, but I did. Like I said, I was more happy than anything today because like I can still honor her. Like I said, I'm happy to honor her tonight on the show. So
Hmm.
and of course, I saw you honor your mother on your page and everything. Happy Mother's Day to her as well.
Yep. She's in Atlantic City gambling with her husband.
I'm
So
gambling.
she's out having a good time.
All
As
right,
long as she's having a good time,
it's all that matters. It's all that
that's all
matters.
that matters.
All right. So announcement next week, no show because did you get an invite? Did you get any invites or anything recently to a game night or anything? Can you hear me? You can't hear me at all. Come drop. Hold up. Lord. Well, look, I'm gonna call you after the show. I'm gonna call you.
Hold on, let me see something real quick. We gonna figure this shit
Sorry,
out.
ladies and gentlemen, tough difficulties a little bit. All right, he'll be back. If not, I'll close the show out. Next week, we will not have a show next week. We're having a little gathering coming up soon. So next week would be no show. We'll be back the following week though, which would. Oh, let me check something. Are you all good?
We all good.
Okay, so I was saying next week won't be a show because did you get an invite for a game night?
Yes.
All right, we won't have a show next week because we'll be at an event.
Yep.
So
Yep.
also Saturday, hopefully I can get some pictures and videos. I'll be at the fan expo this Saturday where John Cena will be there. Hopefully I get some pictures or anything. If I get a picture of John Cena, I'll definitely put it on the show the following week. So, like I said, next week there'll be no show. We'll be back the following week. Cause right now everything in wrestling right now is like all over the place a little bit. And it's like this show is like based on WWE a little bit more than anything. Granted, we can cover other shows, but it's a lot of wrestling that's like going on right now. But WWE is like the high ticket of everything right now. So it is what it is. You can follow. Oh, are you good? You good? I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna close it out. All right, guys. So, like I said, next week will be no show. We'll be back the following week, which will be I think I believe the 25th. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. One of those days. We'll be back that time. We'll have a show. Like I said, wrestling right now is kind of like all over the place. So we'll be back the following week. Have a safe night, guys. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Have a good night, guys.